it's always a good thing when you come to your bowl and see palm trees. Means you had a good season. So really great day today. We had a little rain to start it, but really cleared out, and really good Tuesday type practice for us. Today is a typical Tuesday for us. Last day in full pads. We'll be in shells tomorrow, and start getting a little more dialed in each and every day.
Were they as focused as you would hope they would be considering the trip and everything?
Yeah, good. I'm really glad we practiced yesterday in Clemson. I thought that really set the tempo, because we ended up getting delayed, and so I'm glad we didn't. We went ahead and got a good focused practice in yesterday. So yeah, today was good. Good day. You know, at this point it's all about execution and details of the plan, and you know, these guys just kind of getting themselves physically and mentally ready to go.
Since Artavis had the scope, do you figure he's going to be 100%?
Oh yeah, he looks great. Yeah, he looks really good.
How critical is that to have him at full strength?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, wasn't a whole lot of difference. I mean, he played really well, but he just had to kind of play through a little bit of a pain, and now he's not having to do that. He's just playing free and clear. But he was huge. He made a lot of huge plays. Three or so games that he played, you know, with that little meniscus. But he looks great, feels great, and you know, we need everybody at their best right now.
When you look back at the last 5 games, Deshaun as a runner, is that just a necessity? Is he better than he was at the beginning of the year? Because 4 of those 5, he went over 100 yards.
Well, I mean, it's just what we do. I mean, it's just what we do. You know, he's a guy that makes a lot of his yards on just extending plays. First of all, a lot of runs that we don't call that turn into runs because, you know, maybe they got us covered or the protection breaks down or whatever, and that's just who he is. That's just a natural instinct for him, and he's got the ability to extend those plays and create distortion in the defense and space to run. And then the other part of it is it's what the defense has given us. You know, as Gallman has established himself this year, it's opened more things up for Deshaun. We've become very balanced, but I mean, that's always going to be a part of what we do. I mean, our quarterback is a guy that has to make plays with his legs. He's that trump card, if you will. You know, Deshaun's got whatever 900 yards, I think, and Gallman's got right at 1,400. So Gallman is our workhorse, but Deshaun is a huge part of our running game. And again, a lot of it is just whatever the defense gives us, and he makes the right decisions. And so that's just a part of what we do, and it sets up our play actions. It sets up our, you know, our screen game and everything that goes with it. He's done a great job for us.
You've coached in 2 of these Orange Bowls, but do you get the sense, or have you gotten a sense yet, that this is any different with it being a playoff, or that there's maybe a little different air about it?
Not really. I mean, 2 years ago when we were down here, I mean, you always want to win your game. I mean, heck, I don't know. We were in the Russell Bowl last year. Heck, we wanted to win. I promise you. They don't care. I mean, you know, regardless of what the outside world may look at it as, we want to win. Whatever game we play, we want to win. So I can assure you, when we came down here and we were playing a 12-1 Ohio State team that was 24-1 coming into that game, we wanted to, that was a big game for us. But you know, we're kind of treating it the same. But I think everybody knows that there's opportunity to play in January. But you got to earn that. So you know, 2015 is going to come to an end on the 31st, regardless whether we win or lose. You know, but we want to have one more opportunity, make them print one more ticket to see the Tigers play. So that's what our focus is, but that's not any different than it's been the last several years. Or any game during the regular season, we want to win, and we just try to focus on doing what we got to do to give ourselves a chance to win.
Dabo, a lot of people have talked about what it's taken for the program to get to this point. How much of an impact was it on you and the program to have a top 10 rival in state to compete against over the last 5 years? Did that help you guys get here at all?
I mean, well, we've had a top 10 rival in our division, so we didn't really have to, you know, we were trying to win our conference. I mean, obviously, it's when you have a big-time rival in your state, I mean, that certainly is a part of your competitive nature and building your program. But, heck, you got to go undefeated to win our division. It's a really tough division that we're in. I mean, if you don't, we've been 7-1 2 years in a row, and we couldn't even win our division. So we had to go undefeated this year to get it done. So we've had our hands full within our league, and then certainly that's kind of a season of its own when we play South Carolina, and they've been a great team. Obviously didn't have a great year this year, but they've been a great team for several years, and so I think just the league that we play in, the competition that we face. Obviously we go out of conference in our in-state rival, but I think just over the 7 years of stepping out of our conference and playing these type of games. I mean, we've played 3 college football playoff type games in a row. Oklahoma's here. We played them last year. Ohio State won it last year. We played them. LSU. So our guys understand, and I think that all of those things are critical as you build your program. Again, being able to win your conference and be very consistent in your league, but when you step out of league, trying to be able to win your fair share of those too.
Dabo, the style of offenses in the semifinals really intrigues me because your game, you've got tempo and high scoring. The other game's more grinded out, traditional pro-style offenses.
Yeah.
What does it say about college football these days that you've got these different styles and looks like you can succeed both ways?
Yeah, well, I think that's what makes college football so popular is you have such diversity. 1 week you see the triple option, next week it's the air raid offense, and next week it's more of a power spread type of system like we have. And then the next week you're playing the I formation. It's just it's a very different thing, as totally different from the NFL, where that's why you see players just can go and in a week they're ready to play. It's a lot of similarities from team to team, with an exception or two. But in college football, and plus in the pros you got 32 teams. There's 128 Division I teams, and everybody has their different philosophies and then different spins on that philosophy. But I think it's what makes it fun. It's what makes it very unpredictable, to be able to prepare for so many things. You've got 2 very similar teams in Michigan State and Alabama, and 2 teams on the surface appear similar, but offensively we do some similar things, but we're pretty different too, as far as the background of what we do.
You were pretty outspoken a couple years ago with the tempo rules that were trying to slow down tempo teams. Do you think that debate is over? I mean, does that still go on within coaches?
I hope so. It really doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, you got 40 seconds. You got to be able to use them however you want to. And if you look at college basketball, I think one of their problems is they're trying to speed it up.
Right.
That's one of the reasons I think that they're hurting a little bit. And so they're trying to look at what they're trying to do. And I think our game has never been popular and more popular than it is right now. And I think it's again because of the diversity of all the different offenses. And we're a tempo team, but we rarely snap the ball. We usually snap it somewhere in the 20s, sometimes less than that, depending on what we're trying to do. But you have some teams out there like North Carolina. You better have your cleats in the ground as soon as that ball is spotted. But I think that's what makes it fun. It makes it challenging from week in and week out, and I think it's made college football. It's taken it to a whole nother level.
All the freshmen on the team, have any of them had the wow moment being in Miami yet? You seen any eyes get a little wider?
No, not really. I mean, we got here last night and just kind of getting going today. So, we'll get plugged into some of the functions that they have planned for us tonight. I think they go and eat somewhere, or just eat a bunch of food. I don't know, Fogo something. And so, they'll get plugged in. We're going to go to the Heat game, get a chance to do some fun things. And but these guys have got a great demeanor. The hotel's awesome. Our setup there makes it very efficient for us. So it's been a really smooth transition at this point.
I'm sure you have experience coaching against friends, other coaches you have ties to. Have you had much chance to talk to Brent about what it's like to coach against Oklahoma 2 years in a row?
No. Just trying to. Our talks is how we're going to stop this quarterback and contain that guy. But no, that stuff has nothing to do with it. I mean, when you're in this business, it's a fraternity. You pretty much know everybody. Every time you line up, most of the time, a lot of the times, you have a friend on the other sideline. A lot of the time in this business, that's just the way it is. So it's not. Once the ball's kicked off, that's just you're just focused on the game. You really not thinking about any of those type of things.
Any specific guys from the JV portion of practice thing really jumped out
A lot of guys, but really nobody to single out right now. I think we got a bunch of good young guys that this is going to help them as we get into the spring, help their growth, But all those guys have worked hard and responded well. We hadn't been able to do as much scrimmaging as I would like because we're thin in the offensive line. We don't have enough bodies, but we've been able to get a lot of good competitive work and crossover, and it's again just the accumulation of those reps will pay off for these guys because they get more and more comfortable, and that's how you play. I mean, you got to go play to get better. So this gives them the opportunity to get back dialed into our schemes as opposed to the scout team stuff.
I know a lot's been made of Baker Mayfield being walk-on and then getting to this level. Does it kind of get overlooked that Deshaun was as hyped as you get, and he's come in and he's handled it all exactly how he's handled it? He's been successful from the get-go. He's handled himself on and off the field.
Yeah.
Does that doing it that way get overlooked a little bit?
I don't know if it does or not. I think he was at the Heisman. I think pretty much people it's pretty well documented on who he is and his success and the type of person he is and all that type of stuff. I don't know if it's been overlooked, but he's just a very consistent guy, person in everything that he does, and I think people this year have gotten to know him more and more as far as just who he is, and I think people have a lot of respect for Deshaun because of how he does handle the situation that he's in. I mean, there's a lot of people pulling at him. There's a lot that comes with the platform that he has, but he embraces that and he understands and he does a great job with that. But he's just relentless about preparing. That's the thing that I love about him. He doesn't let anything get in the way of that. I mean, he is really dialed in, to this point has really handled it well.
Dabo, you've called yourself